All right, I'm going to give you a couple seconds to buckle in for this one, so go ahead and put your seatbelts on, get comfortable. Okay, good? We're good? All right, let's get started.
Say you want to. Stay, I need you.
Before we continue, I want to let you know that music has been a huge part of my life, and I love supporting up-and-coming artists. So if you're somebody that wants to share their music with my audience, send me your song at this email right here, and if I vibe with it, I'll look to include it in one of my upcoming videos. Thank you. Now, if you've been part of the Elon sphere, or the Tesla sphere, or the SpaceX sphere, these last couple weeks have been extremely eventful. You've had the Twitter dealings happening, you've had Elon openly criticizing the left wing of the United States political system, and announcing that his next vote will be Republican, which is the right side of the political system in the United States. Plus other small things that Elon likes to get himself involved in, but obviously these two have been driving the discussion massively. And with the recent price action of Tesla in the stock market, I'm seeing a lot more people, especially within the community, that the recent Twitter acquisition is going to become a problem, especially now that Elon is leveraging his free speech to talk about what he thinks is wrong with the political system here in the United States. And there seem to be a lot of calls that ask Elon to refocus his energy away from these things and back to Tesla and SpaceX and other things that he's been working on for a long time. What I like to do in this video is offer a different point of view that might help some think through their process as it comes to their Tesla investment, or how to deal with the recent craziness that's been happening around Elon. I'm not here to convince you to think one way or another. I'm just here to share my point of view in case it's helpful. Now, the key thing to remember about Tesla is that Tesla is not just Elon. Tesla is 110,000 people and growing. And although Elon is a big part of Tesla's success, especially in the past as they were growing through the Model 3 ramp and other things that were going on with the company, that story is much different today. There's a lot of talent in that company. I saw it firsthand and I talk about it often on this channel. One thing to keep in mind is that these companies are very self-sufficient. While I was working at Tesla as an example, it was during the Model 3 ramp, and most of the effort around that company was around that Model 3 ramp. As we were building out the service network, we were 100% self-sufficient, and we made every single bit of those decisions that were required to move the company forward in that respect. And of course, Elon is very smart, and he's a big part of the solutions from an engineering standpoint and a manufacturing standpoint, but we have to remember that that company is ginormous and only growing. And now that Tesla is a company that has essentially unlimited demand, has a ton of cash on its balance sheet, has no debt, and it has a bunch of profits coming in, especially in the coming quarters, I don't see how Elon being distracted in this case is any worry at all for Tesla investors. Not investment advice, obviously, but that's my perspective as it pertains to Tesla specifically. And this will obviously also apply to SpaceX and other companies. If Elon has built these companies like Tesla, you have nothing to worry about from a distraction perspective. Those companies are much more self-sufficient than most people realize. Another thing to keep in mind is that Elon has always been someone who has been very outspoken, and this is not new. I'm sure a lot of us have watched his interviews and all the other talks he's given around Tesla and why it's so important to move to electric vehicles in the future, sustainable transport, sustainable energy generation, so on and so forth. All of these things are 100% true, and they were bucking the trend at the time of the legacy systems that were in place for vehicles and energy generation. And as Tesla and SpaceX continue to grow, as their future becomes more and more solid, I think it's reasonable to expect Elon to refocus his bandwidth and his energy to other things that he feels are important. And then the question becomes, why wouldn't you want someone of Elon's caliber, in this case somebody who's excellent at problem solving, refocus his energies towards things that he feels are very important for advancing humanity? I think it's important to keep his track record in mind. You have PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla, and other companies that he started that are fundamental to the nature of advancing civilization forward. And one can make the argument that things such as free speech or political systems are just as important to ensure that the future of humanity is secured. Besides, what better way than to use Twitter, a public forum, to speak one's mind? And I can see how this feels unorthodox and uncomfortable, especially for those that have been following Elon for a while. But then the question becomes, is it wrong for a person of his caliber to do what he's doing? Or are we just conditioned to polished, politically correct leaders in those positions that would rarely, if ever, take the tone that someone like Elon has as of recent? And I think what's super interesting is that, especially in the United States, we live at a time where the truth as a concept is coming at a premium. Most people don't really know what's going on. So you have to think about it through that lens as well. When you have someone like an Elon of his caliber that is coming out and speaking what he believes is his truth, why does that cause division? And why do we have the atmosphere that we have today. And so I think the real important step here is to ask ourselves, why am I upset that Elon's taking to Twitter, and really analyze that answer. If the root of the problem is, well, I'm concerned that my Tesla investment's going to go down and I'm going to lose money the more Elon talks, then perhaps that means that we have to re-examine why we're invested in those companies in the first place. Having been an investor in Tesla for the last 10 years, investing in Tesla also means investing in Elon. Let me offer a different lens for all of us to look through. If we're comfortable with Tesla disrupting the legacy auto market, which hires millions upon millions upon millions of people and is responsible for billions upon billions of dollars towards the GDP of multiple countries on Earth, why is it that we're uncomfortable with the disruption of other things as well? Elon and his companies are disruptors to the core. Everything they touch, everything they think about, everything they try to problem solve is going to cause massive disruption. I think the very interesting thing here is that between Twitter and the political system in the US and Elon becoming much more vocal about it, it's a massive disruption to the status quo. And I think another layer that adds to the complexity and the stressfulness of this entire situation is that I believe a lot of us think that the current political system and our discourse is extremely difficult to fix, if not impossible. But let's draw a parallel back to Tesla. Let's draw a parallel back to SpaceX. Let's draw a parallel back to Neuralink and the other companies that Elon and his teams have tackled on. Couldn't the things that have been happening here in the last few weeks just be step one of many towards a better future, especially when it comes to discourse and political systems? And the obvious discomfort that has been happening here in the last few weeks is yet another reminder why these problems are so difficult to solve and why there's so much reluctancy to even talk about these things, because they're so hard and can be so divisive. But I personally view it as a necessary step to move our species forward towards a better future. And what puts me most at ease is that we have someone who has a proven track record of solving gigantic problems and surrounding himself with amazing teams to tackle on those problems. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg of much bigger things to tackle on here in the coming years. And I think having Elon at the center of the discussion is a great thing. It's a great thing to have a problem solver essentially taking the lead to move these conversations forward. In the spirit of the whole thing that's going on right now, please share your opinions in the comments if you feel comfortable with it, because I really do think this is a very interesting time that we're living through. And I think there's a good chance once we look back 10 to 20 years from now that this was a monumental step towards a better future for humankind. Thank you so much for watching the video. I have many different ways you can support the channel in the description. And before we leave, here is today's song from JB Elwood. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
So, yeah, I went out the other night and we just...
You and your boys?
Yeah.
You know, I've been sober about 2 years now.
How do you feel about cats? I have 12. You want to see? Look.
I'm actually only 20, but it's okay. I brought my fake. Are they gonna be chill about it?
Can I try this?
I'm actually gluten-free, vegan, keto.
Zach. Oh, hey, John. So, what's your net worth?
From Chicago, and I'm actually here in Austin now because I'm in school.
So, I'm a Pisces. What's your sign?
Because I'm in school.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think somebody's calling. Oh, hey, girl, what's up? Girl, what?
So who did you vote for?
What's the time that you were born?
Do you have Dogecoin?
He's really cute, though. Did you want to get some food?
You sound like you're not sure. You don't know your sign. It's your birthday.
I love them so much.
I think I'm in love with you.
I never tip. I don't believe in that kind of stuff.
I know I might be the one to blame. I put on a smile and hide the pain. I'm tired of these games. Maybe I will find love someday. This time of night they never stay. It's lonely. Please don't leave. I don't want to chase you. I don't want to fight. Don't want to say goodbye. Say you want to. Stay. I need you. I really don't want this to just be one night. Say you want to. Stay. I need you. I really don't want this to just be one night. To just be one night. cheap.